everybody little tapping with the pot with Tigmatic.
Y'all tune into the Pop Podcast. And guess what? There's an episode of me on
and you are tuned into the Pot Podcast.
And with the Pot Podcast with my boy Tigmatic. You hear me? It's going down.
To follow the Pot Podcast with Tigmatic.
That's that number one.
That's that number one.
Yo, what's up, y'all? You're now tuned into another episode of the Pot Podcast with Tigmatic. It's your boy. We here. Happy Wednesday. Hey, listen, it's hump day. We're getting over the hump. And as always, this episode is brought to you by Hollywood TV, Hollywood Radio, Dollar Radio, Going In Radio, 105.7 The Phase, DamaniBrand.com, and NorthShadeDemoreBoutique.com. Hey, listen, I got a special guest here today. He out here getting his jog on and walk on, you know what I mean, getting his health on. But we going to chop it up a bit. But as advertised, I got my guy Jonni Vegaz here. Johnny, you here?
What's good, my guy? How you?
Hey, man, what's good? Welcome to the pot, man.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me, man. It's an honor.
Hey, it's good. It's good to have you here, man. It's good to see you. So,
good to see you too, bro.
Hey, man, I like to let my guests give themselves a formal introduction and give the audience a rundown of who you are, you know, because I wanted to be real and organic and let the person speak from the horse's mouth. You feel me? So
I appreciate that.
All right, the floor is yours, my guy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shayanne Andujar, a.k.a. Jonni Vegaz, actor, producer, songwriter, podcast host, real estate agent, talent agent, author. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, I could be here all night talking about my credits, but, you know, I live in Los Angeles, produced about 7 recording albums myself, and just just got a lot going on, man. I'm excited to be on the podcast, and I'm excited to share my advice and my story with your audience. So thank you for having me.
Hey, man, it's good to have you here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to do this. I know you're a busy man. Calls come, but you're taking the time to sit here with your boy. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that
Shout
a
out
whole
to
lot.
shout out
You
to
feel
Philly,
me?
man. I got special love in my for Philly people, man. You know what I'm saying? When I used to live in Jersey, Philly was right there. So you guys will always come mess with us, especially when I was rapping out there doing the battle raps. It's like you guys really known for that out there, right? So we
Facts.
we got a big appreciation for people from Philly.
Hey, man, listen, one shot for the love from Jonni Vegaz by my hometown.
You already know. So talk to me,
Yeah.
man. What's good, man? What we gonna teach the people today? How we gonna inspire? How we gonna impact today, man? Talk.
All right, so before we get into that, you know what I'm saying? Your journey, where did your journey begin? You know what I'm saying? Because I want people to get a little insight about who you are, and then we could tell them, a bit more. So where
Copy
did
that.
your journey begin before the world known you as Agent to the Stars?
Well, it starts from my family, right? So my family is originally from the Dominican Republic, so that's how I speak English and Spanish fluently, and produce music in English and Spanish as well. So they come from the Dominican Republic. I was born in the Bronx, literally one right there, like 2 blocks from the Yankee Stadium. So I grew up there. I was always back and forth between New York, New Jersey, and Florida, like my whole life. So, and when I say Jersey, I mean Patterson specifically. So where they filmed
Yeah,
that movie, Lean on Me with Morgan Freeman. I went to that high school for a couple of years. And then when the Twin Towers fell, that's when we decided to go down south for good. So then we went to Tampa, Florida, and I was there for a good minute, I think for like 12, 13 years. And then 2016, I decided to move to LA with my now fiance. And yeah, man, and then just started working ever since I touched down. And I always had one foot in entertainment and one foot in sales. Sales has always been the backbone of my entertainment endeavors, right? Because before we get the investors and before we're able to live the dream, right, we have to fund it. So, I always held the job down, to be able to fund my entertainment endeavors and, until I reached the point where I was able to do it full time. So yeah, man. So now I'm in LA. I hit the ground running, did over 100 projects as an actor and a producer. I'm a part of the Screen Actors Guild. I'm a member of the Television Academy. So I've been doing my thing there. And then when COVID hit, I had to put my salesman hat back on. So that's when I started brokering deals. I started, moving some medical devices, brokering deals between governments and hospitals to help fight against COVID. And then when that, when the pandemic, quote unquote, went away, we liquidated that business, sold all the assets, and then that's when I got my real estate license. Because I needed to keep the flow coming in, but at the same time, I couldn't be bound to like a 9 to 5 job. So I needed to be able to make good money, still be of service to my community, but make a substantial amount of money to where I could fund all my entertainment endeavors. Because one thing about being in LA, opportunities come randomly, right? So you always gotta kind of be on call to like do an audition or do an acting role or perform or go to the studio, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? To still be of service to where you can make some bread to fund your entertainment goals. So yeah, man. So that's really where I'm at today. But I just got a lot. I got a lot going on, man. I got a lot going on.
oh, that's fire. Hey, man, you mentioned you worked over 100 film and television projects.
More film, not
What
necessarily television, but
and
more
film?
film.
Yeah, television and film. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
what was your first major role in the entertainment world?
I mean, honestly, I don't believe no one role is bigger than the other, because there was roles that I had where I got paid more than I did on another role, but I had more fun on the previous role, right? So I worked on a movie called The Clearing. So that one I actually got to play a zombie. So they put me in the makeup and all that. I'm chasing the main character throughout the whole scene, and it was like a 7-day shoot. And I got paid
Yeah.
pretty well. But then I also did a stand-in role for Dak Prescott from the Dallas Cowboys. And for those who don't know what a stand-in work is, so it's like when they usually don't bring the main talent to the set until it's time for them to shoot because their time is money, right? So they usually get a stand-in person to come who's like their same body type, so they can kind of adjust the camera, in preparation for the main character to come in. So I did that for a Super Bowl commercial for Dak Prescott there. So that
Oh,
was
that's
pretty
fire.
cool. Got paid some good bread there, and then played a nurse on this couple BT films. That one's on Netflix now. I produced a project with Cuba Gooding Jr. So we actually just released that 2 months ago. So that's everywhere. It's called Dog Patrol right now. Shout out to Josh Weber, that's the director. So my role was the producer on that one. And I got a couple other projects I'm producing now. One with Sylvester Stallone. Working on another one with Vivica Fox. And I got another one with Tiffany Haddish I'm working on. So yeah, man, I'm in my producer bag right now.
Oh man, that's awesome. It
Thank you.
seems like you be out here at work and you stretched out, brother.
Man, no, not necessarily. I definitely don't spread myself too thin like I used to. Before it was worse, but now it's like, I kind of really identified like everything that I've done so far and where I'm looking to go and how much time I'm looking to dedicate to each endeavor, right? So me being in real estate allows me the freedom to move around, make some good transactions, and still be able to kind of bounce back and forth within the entertainment space. But when I'm in the seat of being a producer, where mostly in the producer world, I do more of the executive producing when it comes to raising capital, right? So being able to raise capital for films and real estate developments kind of keeps me in a specific seat, right, where I'm offering the same service to both industries. So now it's like, okay, now this is the position I want to play. This is this is what I'm good at. I'm great at it. So now it's like, okay, I want to do it in the real estate world. I want to do it in the film world, and with that, I'm able to negotiate the things I want, which is obviously a fee for securing the money, and then some back end participation. When you get the royalties,
Yeah.
I can negotiate a featured role for myself in the film. So I actually get to act as well, and then on the music side, I get to negotiate a music placement in the film as well. So being in this role allows me to leverage and get a lot to leverage what I can do to get a lot more out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't shit getting done without no money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's pretty much where I come in.
All right, so Agent to the Stars, I gotta ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
What qualities make someone a great deal maker? Break it down to the people, because for those that want to get into the business that you do, I want to know what makes someone good and what makes them qualified to do so. And also, what are some myths about Hollywood that people have?
Okay, well, that's a loaded question. So I'm gonna start with the first question. So as far as what qualities you have to have, first you have to be trustworthy, right? Because nobody's gonna trust you with their business if that you don't build a relationship with them. You don't build a rapport with them, right? All my
Right.
deals come from pre-existing relationships, right? So I build relationships with people. Those relationships become friendships, and then the partnership just manages to figure itself out, right? So in this case, when it comes to being an agent, right? Or and for me, I don't even label myself an agent like that. Most people do, like outside of me. But I'm just helping my friends out, right? Now, because again, the relationship's established, the friendship established. We know what each other do. So now it's like, okay, let's say, for example, shout out to Onyx, my boy Fredro Starr. Got a great relationship with him, and obviously he's Onyx, right? So I'm able
Right.
to, you know, secure a podcast interview for him. I'm able to secure a show for him just because of the relationship I have with him, or even a movie role just because, of what I have going on and the ecosystem I built and the relationships I have. So I say you have to, one of the best qualities I have is I'm a great networker. You know, I love to talk to people. I'll talk to anybody. You know, I'm kind to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an asshole. You know, I mean, when it comes to business, I can be an asshole, but you know,
Try to
just
keep
on
it
a
clean
day.
though. Try to keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, no, like you know, I can be not so kind when it comes to business, but that's only when I feel like I'm being taken advantage of. But at the same time, you know, when it comes to you know building relationships, you want to be a great networker. You want to you know build a good Rolodex. You want to be trustworthy, and you want to be able to communicate on behalf of your client and really identify what it is your client's needs are specifically. So when you're at the negotiation table, you know what you can and cannot you know give up or give a little bit of, you know, in exchange for something else. You know, you kind of want to know the client. So having these conversations beforehand is key. So, you know,
Right.
you'll be a good representation to your client. So that's so. And then what was the other question as far as like the myths of Hollywood? Can you hear me okay? Because it's
Absolutely.
a lot of traffic. It's a lot
Yeah,
of
I can hear
traffic.
you
Can you hear
fine.
me?
I can hear you
Okay,
fine. You're good.
cool, cool. So yeah, as far as myths in Hollywood, like people, I always heard like people talk about, you know, people wanting to take advantage of people and, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, the raping you records and all this stuff. Yeah, that stuff may happen in some cases, but it's up to you to teach yourself business when you get into business. You can't expect someone to hold your hand and you know walk you through a deal. Like you kind of gotta know the ropes before you come in. At least the fundamentals, you know. And when I say fundamentals, I mean just the vocabulary of what you know business terminologies are. So when you hear it and you know how it's applied, you can identify if it's being applied accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's trying to mess
Yeah.
you over, right? So having that
Yeah, you
knowledge,
gotta get acclimated.
absolutely, and just coming into the game, like you got to really know that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you plan to be of service, right? Like you can't just come in. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie. Like I came to LA trying to figure it out. Like I was like, yo, I want to be an actor. I want to be a rapper. This, that, and the third. And I was like, and I was doing well, but then I'm like, oh, hold up, like this ain't consistent as I thought it was gonna be. Okay, let me pivot a little bit. You know, do some deals over here, and then you know, still stay in the space, and then I kind of work my way up, and that's what I did now. That's what I'm doing to this day. So yeah, man. So I say like as far as myths in Hollywood, you know, they think it don't. Another thing too, some people say overnight success, right? You're not just gonna come here, and it's not just gonna pop off on a weekend. It's not gonna pop off in a month. Like you see
Yeah.
an overnight success that popped off, but you look at his story, that journey was like 25 years, 10 years, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you really gotta play the long game when it comes to this Hollywood thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nothing happen overnight over here. You know, and you always gotta be kind to people, man, because Hollywood is one of these places where you could be. It could be the janitor that could turn around and be the CEO of CBS. You know, and you trying to get an acting role from them after you know what I'm saying, you spit on them in the elevator 3 years prior, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you really gotta be kind to people, yo. Real talk. I can't express that enough. You'd be surprised how many people are egomaniacs, like in the beginning, in the super early stages of their career, like they think they're doing something, but in the grand scheme of things, they're not. And they really
Yeah.
burn a lot of bridges in the beginning. And when they go back trying to cross that bridge later on, it's like the bridge is already burnt. There's no more bridge.
Yeah, you wanna definitely not burn bridges is how I see it. You know, especially when you're coming in new, you wanna really, really show your professionalism and show that you're trustworthy, like you were saying. Um, so my next question to you is this: why is it important for people to understand the business? And I want you to expound on that a little bit more because we have a businessman who knows the business, y'all. So y'all gonna get some game today.
Hmm. So you said why is it important for people to know the business?
Yeah. Tell them why
I mean,
it's important to know the ins and outs of the business because what I mean by is give them examples of what can happen if you don't.
well, one, you can not only can you get effed over, but you can lose a lot of money for yourself and your client, and that's not never a good look because once that happens, I guarantee you, your client will never let you represent him again on anything. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's the last thing you don't want to ever do is look bad in front of your client or make your client lose some money. Because not only that you won't generate any business, they could turn around and sue you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, for damages and whatever it is. You can sue anybody for anything. So that is always a possibility, right? So
Yeah.
that's one reason why it's important for sure. And then also you just want to know what you can do on behalf of your client, and not just your client, but just yourself as well. If you're the artist and you're the businessman, you want to negotiate on behalf of yourself. You kind of want to know what avenues can be entertained or can be explored when it comes to doing a deal, right? And what leverage you have, and you know what I'm saying, what leverage they have, and how to it's more like a chess match when it comes to business, right? You kind of got to identify what's available and how you want to position yourself and kind of see the moves, 10
Yeah.
steps ahead always. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
now you know how
Fast
they may
thinking.
approach you. Right. So you know how the opponent is going to approach you in any way. You'll always be prepared because you're already 10 steps ahead anyway. It's the same in business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I would say would be why it's important to know it. And just, people are quick to judge people. You think they don't, but people judge you on every little thing, how you dress, how you talk, how you react to certain things, you know what I'm saying? Like how you smell, like a lot of it, right? So you kind of want to carry yourself in the highest prestige, and not just faking the funk. I mean, really knowing your stuff, like knowing your vocabulary, like practicing, speaking and talking, and you know what I'm saying, just to where you're it comes across like, like your stuff, and you
You're
can't be messed
confident in
with
what
when
you're doing.
you're confident
Yeah.
in what you're doing. Exactly. So all that plays a role from a psychology perspective. So you really want to carry yourself to that highest regard.
Hey man, I agree with you there because I'm not a person that's afraid to say I don't know something. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know something, the best thing a person that doesn't know something can do is to pick somebody who knows it brain. And you know
Right.
firsthand, I picked your brain a couple days ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For
So
real.
if I don't know something, I'm going to ask because it's great to get information so that way you can learn how to move in this business because this business is definitely something that you have to be assertive in and you definitely have to know what you're talking about when you're talking about it. So
Right. 100%.
let me ask you this. What separates healthy thinkers from people who stay financially stuck?
You said healthy thinkers,
Wealthy
healthy.
thinkers.
Oh, wealthy thinkers.
hmm From people who stay financially stuck in this
I
business.
mean, listen, that's a whole another podcast for another day. But honestly, like, I would say wealthy thinkers. I mean, I really want to answer this, as intelligently as possible that I can. Um, Wealthy thinkers, it's never about the money, and I know that sounds contradictory, but it's more so about the, depending who you are, right? If you're in the service business, you kind of want to focus on how many people you can help, how many people you can serve, right? Because the more people you help, obviously the money comes, but you're not necessarily chasing money. You're chasing, the amount of people you want to help, right? Because that's your business. It's of being of service, and people could read through that, right? Because it comes across when you talk to people. Like for example, when going back to business, and let's say you work commission only, and you're trying to pitch an idea to a client. If you're just solely thinking about that commission, they're gonna smell your commission breath a mile away because now you're not looking out for your client's best interest. You're looking out for your own interest, which is the money. So it's like, a client's gonna know that, you don't have their best interest at heart. You won't steer them in the right direction because greed is what's amplifying your actions. Whereas if you're in the service business and you got your clients, deal I mean, you got your client's interest, you know, ahead of yours, then now it's like you're advising them accordingly. So now, regardless if this deal is gonna make you $1 million, but it's gonna make him lose 50 million in the long run, you know, you're telling him, yo, listen, don't take this deal. It's a bad deal, and he'll appreciate you for that, and he'll trust you with the next deal, right? Because you know you're gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's how I would answer that question, from wealthy thinkers to people who stay financially stuck. At least in my field, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I would answer that.
Hey man, that was a very intelligent response, and I respect it. I dig it. I'm absorbing game while you're giving it, brother. So let me ask you this. This is off my questionnaire. What's a financial mistake that you made as far as business deals and investments, and what did it teach you?
When I first came to LA, you know, I came with the hope and dreams of, you know, making it in the entertainment industry, right? Which I'm doing pretty well. But in the beginning, it was a journey, right? So during that time, you know, I was burning through money. So I'm like, you know, in hindsight, thinking back, I'm like, yo, I should have at least got my real estate license for California before coming to California. So I can have that, you know, in my back pocket, to where as soon as I touch down, I can get with a brokerage. I can start making some moves right away. I didn't get my real estate license until year 5 in California. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a lot of times I was down and out. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, so it taught me, you know, to kind of be prepared ahead of time for situations like that, and really identify what the lifestyle that I'm looking to live is going to look like, and how would I need to not only navigate but sustain within that lifestyle for the goals that I'm looking to achieve.
So what advice would you give the artists who want to build wealth beyond music or film?
Build wealth beyond music or film? I mean, I would say just invest your money. You know, talk to financial planners. You know, and it depends where you're at too, like financially, right? If you have a certain amount of savings and things like that, you kind of want to, you know, speak to a professional that focus on specific assets. You know, if it's real estate, okay, speak to a specialist. Don't speak to a generalist who just know a little bit about a lot. You want to talk to somebody who knows a lot about this one thing. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's commercial real estate, or it's, you know, restaurants, or it's, you know, single family fix and flips, whatever it is, or if it's, you know, a feature film they want to invest in, or if it's like a music catalog that they want to acquire and stuff like that, or a studio they want to build, and, you know, how to market that. Like, you kind of want to speak to specialists, not just generalists. So yeah, in regard to which investment you choose, you know, but I always believe in investing your money or putting it into a financial vehicle that's going to appreciate over time, you know, because that just means your money's working for you and it continues to compound.
Right, and it continues to make more, and which leads to more businesses and more,
Right.
you know, opportunities. So
Right.
you studied
And then
at
you can
Wharton
always
Business
get,
School.
and then you can
What?
always get, not to interrupt you, you can always get loans against your assets to acquire more assets, especially if, you know, the asset you invested in initially is cash producing. Then, you know, there's ways you can leverage that. You know what I'm saying, to get more money to acquire more.
Yeah. Hey man, that's the way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've been told this for quite a while now. so
Mm-hmm.
so Johnny, you studied at Wharton Business School for private equity. How did that experience shape your thinking?
It exposed me to, you know, how the people in the finance industry kind of view money, and how they kind of use other people's money to acquire assets. And you know what I'm saying, it was just to walk people through private equity and a leverage buyout situation. So in a leverage buyout, so the way private equity is just wealthy people, private people that have money that they deploy into acquiring different assets, typically cash producing assets, right? So, for example, if the way a leverage buyout happens, so basically they put 20% down, just like a house, right? Let's say you're acquiring a property, they put their 20% down, then they borrow the other 80 from the bank, and then they use the proceeds from the business to pay back the bank, right? So they bought the property for the 20% down, and then what they do is they build the business up over time. So let's say, like, it's like an umbrella corporation, but then they start acquiring other business to put into that business to make it more value. That's the value creation phase. And then 5 to 7 years down the line, they exit and they sell the business to another firm. So now they just 10, 20x or 50, sometimes even 50x from the 20% that they put down, not the 100% that it cost. So that's all private equity does, all day. They just do it on a bigger scale, right? They do it like they buy, it's ridiculous what they buy, yo. It's like
it makes it easier does it make it easier to pay back your loans this way?
Yeah, because you're using the proceeds from the business. You know what I'm saying? The business, they come in with, the business is already kind of making money, and they see that the value in, making that business more valuable to where they can sell it at a multiple later. And the multiple is like whatever the business is generating times whatever multiple someone's willing to pay. So, for example, if the business is making $100,000 a year, and somebody wants to pay a 10x multiple, that means they'll pay $1 million for the business, because it's times 10, which is the multiple. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fire. So, what daily habits help you become successful?
I mean, define success.
You asked me that the other day.
Yeah, it's real. Define, everybody's vision of success is different.
Success is different. Yeah. All right. So, upon your vision of success.
You didn't answer. Oh, okay. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, I had to rephrase it.
You didn't answer my question, but I appreciate that, though.
Okay.
What?
No. So I'm saying, I'll answer your question. What is success? I kind of agree with you. I do agree with you. It depends on what a person sees as success. For me, I see what I'm doing is successful because I took the time to do it myself, and I did it with no help. So that's success for me. Now, is it super successful in the eyes of those who have way more than me? Absolutely not. But you got to start somewhere. So you just got to keep pushing until you get to where you really want to be. So to me, I see what I'm doing as success. And that's the talk that, we had off air. You know what I'm saying? So to be real, it really is in the eyes of the beholder. So I agree with you there.
All right. So now, and what you meant, your question was, what daily habits, what
help you become successful?
Help you become successful. So as far as for me, because again, to your point, success is in the eye of the beholder. Everyone has their own routine. But for me, definitely working out. Getting in that gym. Because my days are long and they're hard. Pause. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that gym, is a big stress reliever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in there, I'm pushing that weight. I'm just relieving stress. You know what I'm saying? So, that it would be a great way to kind of keep your mental sanity and stay mentally healthy. Because without your mind, it's over. You ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely having your discipline. You know what I'm saying? With discipline, you ain't got nothing either. If you let these vices get the best of you, they will. You know what I'm saying? So being disciplined is key. And then let's see what else. Meditation. You know what I'm saying? I definitely meditate, keep my mind clear, keep the noise out of my mind. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes if you gotta do it multiple times a day, I meditate 5 minutes per time. You know what I'm saying? 5 minutes, 3 times a day. That's 15 minutes out of a 24-hour period. So it's just like that's nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? But it keeps me, grounded and sane and level-headed. You know what I'm saying? To where I don't have too much going on in my mind. Because again, the life I live and the people I talk to and the work I do is like it could be a lot. They're just not. Some people are not ready for that. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I
so
agree.
let's see, and also really identifying what's important. You know what I'm saying? Before, I used to like chase validation from people and, kind of always like in the pursuit of the next deal and then just realizing that it's really about family. You know what I'm saying? And that's really the most important thing. That's really who we got at the end of the day, right? So staying tight with the family, you know what I'm saying? Making sure your presence is felt with them, making them a priority. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely keeping me successful because now it's like when you chase validation from people, that never stops
It
because there's
never
always some,
stops.
yeah, because there's always somebody new you want
Impress.
appreciation. Yeah, you want to impress or you
Uh-huh.
want appreciation from, and that just doesn't stop. And I'm like, yo, I don't give a fuck about. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't care about any of that. You know what I'm saying? At this stage in my life, because I remember back in the day, bro, I used to like, you know, I used to do dumb stuff to just impress the people that I was around, only to realize that they ain't really give a f about me from the gate. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, like that was pointless. You know what I mean? So, and just being happy with who you are and yourself, and not, not trying to be extra, for no reason to impress nobody. So yeah, so that's really my tips in a sense of success. Because for me, success is just more so about me being happy with who I am in the stage of life that I'm in, and knowing who you are, and knowing where you're going, and knowing what you have to do to get there. Whether it's sleeping different, eating different, cutting out certain people out your life. You know what I'm saying? Having different conversations with people. You know what I'm saying? Just I feel like that's successful in its own right, just because
Yeah,
most people don't reach this point. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So that's really my answer to that.
Hey man, I agree with you because everything that you just spoke of, I experienced through this
Mm-hmm.
journey of doing this show and meeting the people that I've met. You know, it changed a lot about me. But not only did it change a lot about me, it helped me understand something about myself. And I want to say this before I even share this, because you just said something that I appreciate. And I appreciate you being vulnerable enough to say, at one point, you were seeking validation from people. You know what I'm saying? And it takes a lot to admit that, because sometimes as men, we won't admit that. Oh, I ain't doing this for none of that. Yeah, but sometimes we do. And
Mm-hmm.
I caught myself being the same way at one point in life when I was younger. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wanted to be in the in crowd, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted people to like me for what I was doing. But as you
Mm-hmm.
get older, you realize none of that really matter. And like you said, the things that do matter is family. That's a part of success right there. Building a family, having people that love and care about you that you come home to every day. So
Right.
yeah, man, I appreciate you for sharing that. So one gunshot for that, man. I had to share that.
Thank you.
You
Hey,
know,
boom, 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 boom.
yeah, oh yeah. So, all right. How do you handle fear when making big decisions?
How do I handle what?
Fear.
Fear, like
Yeah.
okay, fear, like being scared.
Yeah.
Fear.
Fear of the deal not going through or, it
I
not
mean,
happening at
there's
all.
no fear. There's no fear when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to deals, because you know, deals come in abundance to me. My only fear is deal flow stopping, right? You don't ever want deal flow to stop. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I do the things that I do when it comes to networking and putting myself out there, to attract, the type of deals I want, and then just becoming very selective with the deals I want to take on because, you definitely want, to focus on things that are worth your time, right? And
Absolutely.
at this stage in my life, I know what my time is worth. I know what the value I bring, so I know, what to take on and what not to entertain. So so when it comes to fear, when it comes to deals, like I'm never in fear of the deal not working out because I don't count the chickens before they hatch, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not thinking about spending the money before the money's in my bank account. So I don't even get, at this point, bro, I don't even get excited when there's a deal on the table, right? You know what I'm saying? Until it's closed. If it ain't closed, it ain't real. It's not, I mean, don't get it twisted. Like I'm still doing my due diligence and, represent whoever I gotta represent to make sure it gets to that point. But deals done fell through at the finish line. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I that's why now I don't even get excited until the deal's closed. When it's closed, it's in my bank account and everybody's happy. Cool. Now we can go, smoke a cigar or, take a little shot or whatever and celebrate, But until then, I'm hunting the next deal.
So what would you say was your biggest deal out of all the deals you made?
The next one, bro, because I'm always chasing the bigger one. But I'm not gonna talk about how much money I made, but I'm definitely gonna talk about, the situation. So basically, let's see which one. This was a real estate play. So basically, there was this entertainment provider that was looking. So I'm not sure if you're familiar about branded residences, but basically, they're taking like big brands and they're branding hospitality real estate, right? So basically hotels or
I went to
apartment.
school for hotel management.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so they're taking brands and and collaborating with other real estate to where now they're using that to create more fan engagements and potentially get some new revenue through the income stream that comes from real estate. So they were raising capital, and I was able to basically secure the capital by reaching out to like private equity and family offices and things like that. And we put the deal together, and they put the money in escrow, and they did the due diligence. They got their lawyers involved and things like that. And then they wired the money. As soon as they wired the money, then the sponsor, which is the person seeking the money already, that hired me to be on board, they paid me out. So that was pretty nice. You know what I'm saying? That's just on that end. When it comes to the music side, I mean, there was who I helped out. I think it was J-Bo from the Youngbloods, if I'm not mistaken. I helped him get an advancement against his publishing, with a company called Sound Royalties. What they do is they advance artists royalties who are already receiving royalties without taking ownership of the copyright. So, I was able to get him a bag over there. Definitely worked with Fred Joe Star on one as well. And I mean, damn, son. I just booked Shoreline Mafia for like 2 days, working on the third. I literally just got a request for Juicy J and Project Pat for a show, so we're gonna be booking that. As you're talking to me, I literally got a text from one of Jamie Foxx's best friends in regards to a song that we're looking to get placed on his project. So it's just like these situations just come to me in abundance, bro. And it's like, and I'm not saying that like I'm just like above average or different from anybody else. I'm just in these situations, and being here especially like gets me in the right rooms, and with the value that I bring and all the things that I have attached to me, I'm able to have different conversations and create different situations for myself, because of all that I have to offer, and for me, it's just contributing to the industries that I'm passionate about.
Oh man, that's dope.
I hope I answered your question, man, because I know I kind of
you did. You answered it to the max, brother. Man, fact, round of applause, because you definitely answered that to the max. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you giving game to the folks, but not just to the folks, like to me as well. I want to say this. I know that what you do is something special, right? So I want to ask you this. How do you feel about Jonni Vegaz as he goes through his journey doing what he does? This is a mental health question. How do you feel about yourself on a day-to-day basis? All righty.
Can you still see me?
Yeah, you had froze up for a second.
Okay, gotcha. No, I just wasn't aware because I clicked off to text the lady. You know, that's the big boss. When the big boss come calling, you drop everything.
Yeah.
All right.
So my
So
question was,
no, I heard you how I feel about Jonni Vegaz in hindsight of everything he got going on, and I don't like to talk about myself in the third person because Shayanne Andujar is Jonni Vegaz. Jonni Vegaz is
that's right.
Shayanne Andujar. So for me, it's just being proud of myself. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot that I overcame internally since it's a mental health situation. I mean, conversation. You know, it was a lot that I overcame internally from my insecurities and again seeking validation and things like that, and getting to a point where I just don't even care about any of that stuff, and just kind of putting myself out there because at the end of the day, time is the most valuable resource, and people spend a lot of time, worrying about things that never happen. So it's like, me worrying about insecurities of people not liking my music or not liking me as an actor and all this extra stuff that just doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's art and it's my art and it's my deals and it's my value that I'm bringing that I'm contributing to this world before I leave because we all just here on business and we all just passing through. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. So it's like for me, it's just I'm proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? Because where I come from, not too many people make it this far. Like I have old friends from my old neighborhoods that from when I was 14, 15, still on the same block, doing the same
Same
stuff,
here. Doing the
not
same thing,
not
same
going anywhere.
mindset.
Yeah,
Yep.
not going anywhere. So it's just like to make it out of that. Like I'm super proud of myself, bro. Like to sacrifice the things I sacrificed to get where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I left my family. You know what I'm saying? Like not my like left my family, but I'm talking about like when I was I left my mom and my sister out there. I ain't leaving because we're obviously in communication, but I left
Yeah.
Florida to come here and chase a goal. You know what I'm saying? That they were supportive of. You know what I mean? A lot I sacrificed, but nonetheless, you know what I'm saying. To answer your question, I'm proud of myself. I have no regrets for any of my choices, and yeah, man, I'm glad that I've you know things are turning out the way they are at the time it's turning out because in hindsight, looking back, if the things that I'm accomplishing now, that I'm a part of now, would have happened earlier in my life, I wouldn't have been ready for it. And I probably would have fumbled the ball or, disappointed somebody. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, where I'm looking to go, I can't risk any of that happening, right? So I'm just glad things are turning out the way they are at this stage.
So let's talk about the music for a second. What inspired you to drop 7 studio albums, man? And tell the people what your sound is like.
What my sound is like, well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the best way I could tell you about the sound is like uh, pursuing what I say. I said pursuing excellence and financial intelligence. Presidents teaching me all the benefits. No Sega Genesis. I was thinking about Benjamin's network building relationships I'll be leveraging to build a legacy, educate by example. Used to want a handful, now I'm keeping the bank full. Thankful for all the lessons that turn to blessings, progression, all the glory to God's protection. Opportunities leading up to my freedom, motivated by overcoming obstacles in between them, battling all these demons so comfortably. Not coming from a rich family, humble me. But I bet the rich family gonna come for me. Gonna take 10 of you to hustle like one of me. Now it's all real estate, baby. I'm busting plays. Just to book an appointment costs 100K. You know what I'm saying? So that's my fact. So
Let's
for me,
go.
so for me, it's motivation with style, right? I come from, I'm from, I was born '85. You know what I'm saying? I fell in love with music during the '90s era. So having
Yeah.
substance to your music, was always, a motivating factor for me when it comes to writing, right? I never wanted to just write some shit just to write some shit. Now, don't get it twisted. Like I got I'm sorry for cursing. I got music
It's
where,
cool. You was still in rapper mode. I get it.
yeah, I got yeah. So it's like I got music where I'm just being flamboyant, just talking about, just fly talk. But that's what it is, right? But it still got substance to it. But my whole message is motivation with style, right? Like I make that motivation music. I try to make it fly. I ain't trying to be out here on no, fight the power and all that. Shout out to Public Enemy and rest in peace, E Love. That was my guy too. He just passed away. He was actually on the so Public Enemy logo, the guy with the
Yeah,
hat. So he
yeah,
was a DJ by the name of E Love. He actually produced LL Cool J's first album. He was a really good friend of mine. He just passed away. So
yeah.
RIP to him.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So that's really the music I want to deliver. Now, me being able to do it in English and Spanish, just being just kind of being me, embracing my uniqueness instead of being shy about it. And then
Yeah,
yeah, man. So just the 7 albums, man. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of sharing my work, bro. Sharing my work, trying to build a catalog and leverage it to do other deals, like especially like sync licensing deals and write for other artists and stuff like that. For me, you know, making music and making these albums and other stuff was more so just to showcase my ability. So I can then go to someone like a Jamie Foxx or something, for example, and just be like, listen, I've been doing this, and you can kind of hear the quality of my sound. I would like to write for your next project. You know what I'm saying? And then kind of do those deals. So,
yeah.
but yeah, bro, that's where I'm at with it.
Oh, that's fire. I'm an
Yeah,
artist too, so to hear you spit them bars was definitely dope. You know what I'm saying?
you
I'll
already
give you a
know.
little something real quick.
Give it to me. Pause.
Started with a vision of the family living lit in a great
Mm,
space, and people say the sanity is bliss. Separated
mm,
from the fake and seen the snakes before they hiss. Locked myself
mm,
up in the stew and concentrated on these hits. Like, yeah, I'm the man, do it
mm,
all with a plan. Take the ruler like a sultan. Going hard, the we all dripping. How you ball with no offense? Ye signed on the side of the line, dotted line. Sold it solely and read the small print. I've been a boss since day one. Ask about me, I'm 8'1". 8 ball where I came from. Left the work in my sanctum. Yeah, they beefing with me. I ain't scared. Left this 40 in the damn drum. God gave me a
mm,
second chance of life, and this business I had to run. This life I can't fabricate. Let it show through my income. Died on the
mm,
operating table, man. The old me didn't go now. Devil really had a hold of me, and I was chasing money, had me living foul. But it's crazy when you
mm.
MVP and turn over like out of bounds. New money bring new guns, like some big ish with 100 rounds. Yeah.
Ooh, bang, 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 bang. Good stuff, man. Good stuff, man. What you doing with your project? You still dropping music?
Hey man, listen, I actually need a little help in that space because I'm trying to grow a bit more and figure out what to do with it. I got some tracks, but I also need features.
I got you. Just got
You know
you.
what I'm
Well, I
saying?
mean, listen, man. If you're trying to have me on for a feature, man, just make sure the track is fire, my brother. That's all I
Hey,
ask.
listen, I got heat. I got a lot of it. For a
Awesome.
dude like me to get shot in the head and still got bars, I got a lot of it. Trust me.
That's
A
what's
lot
up.
of pain and grit too, but I could talk about that all
Put it
day.
in the music. Yeah, put it in the music, my brother. Put it
Yeah,
in the music.
man, for sure. So,
Oh yeah.
all right. What made you transition into real estate investing?
You said what made me transition?
Yeah, what made you transition into real estate investing?
Well, I mean, like I mentioned before, like I have a 25-year sales career. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, you know, transferring the skills from every job that I have to like a profession that allows me to have the lifestyle I want and the freedom I want and be still being able to be of service. I couldn't think of nothing else but, either, real estate as well as investment banking. I'm in the middle of, obtaining my series license as well to be able to, to do investment banking. So, but it all plays a role with my real estate stuff. So,
Yeah,
as far as like making a transition, it wasn't a transition. It was more like an upgrade from where I started. You know what I mean? Because again, starting in sales, you always want to get to a point where you sell less and make more. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that requires selling a bigger asset that's worth more, right? Because it takes just as much time to do a small deal that makes you $100 to or doing a big deal that makes you $1 million. You know what I'm saying? It takes the same amount of time. So now it's like, okay, now I got to a point where it's like I have enough knowledge to where I can speak to sophisticated investors about a specific asset, and it makes sense. And because for them, it's really just about the numbers. So knowing the formulas and breaking down the numbers and knowing what they can do with that asset and stuff like that is really where your value comes in.
Oh, that's dope. That's definitely dope. You know, you've been around people like Kevin Hart, 50 Cent, Fetty Wap, and others.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get any advice from any of these people? And if so, what was something that stuck with you to this day?
You remember that movie Happy Gilmore?
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites.
You remember Shooter McGavin?
Shooter McGavin wins.
Yeah. So so I was at Emmy's after party that HBO was throwing in Hollywood, and we actually, me and my boy Nathan, shout out to Nathan Pell, we snuck into that party, and then so I was at the same table with Shooter McGavin, and I asked him straight up. I mean, we were talking for a little bit, we were vibing out. He's a real cool dude, but I asked him like, "Yo, what advice can you give me, up and coming actor?" This was when I first touched down in LA, and he was just like, he just looked at the crowd, took his finger and pointed at the whole crowd, and he said, "You see all these guys here?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Don't ever let any one of these mother effers tell you no. You go out there and you get yours." You know what I'm saying? If somebody says no, that's just closer to another yes. You know what I'm saying? But
That's
you
right.
don't stop. You know, and that's one of the best jewels that I got. Even though it's cliche, it's something so simple, but when it's coming from somebody like that, you know, and you're seeing their journey, right? Because you know, although he did Happy Gilmore like 30 years ago, he's still active. Like, you know, I go to these CBS lots where they do the daytime sitcom shows, and he's there still acting. You know, it's for him. It's just another day at the office, right? So to
Yeah.
see that pursuit of greatness and you know and staying consistent over time, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I'm not sure what he probably got other investments he's doing and things like that, and got this just kind of continuing on because of his name and his brand. But still, just to kind of stay in it over time and stay consistent and have that endurance, you know, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. I see what you mean by that. You know what I'm saying? Don't stop, don't run out of gas. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because somebody told you no. You know what I'm
Keep
saying? Don't
pushing.
let that, yeah, don't let that poke a hole in your confidence. You know what I'm saying? Don't let that deter you from where you already see yourself. Because we all know where we want to be. We see it in our heads, and a lot of times we never mind it, or we try to, you know, or not really pursue that vision we see. But we know we already got it in our mind who God wants us to be. He put it in there. It's
That's
there already.
right.
You know, you just got to see it and just put the work in, and don't let nobody tell you no.
Hey man, that's dope. So let me ask you this: what markets right now in real estate have the biggest potential?
I mean, you know, I can only really talk about, you know, where I'm located, you know, so I don't think your audience would be too familiar with the California market, but I will
I
say
mean, I
this.
got part of it is in Colorado, and that's kind of like damn near each other. So
I mean, listen, I would say based on where the interest rates are, which are significantly high depending on who you're asking, but you know, I would say cash is king. So if you see opportunities where, you know, you can acquire market value and you can fix it up little bit, add value to it, and flip it. You know, or here in LA, they have like a SB9 where you can actually subdivide your lots and add ADUs, which are additional dwelling units, or some people may call it an efficiency. You can actually rent those out and capture, you know, rental income there. You know what I'm saying? You can actually put a JADU, which is a smaller version of the ADU, to where you can also rent that out as well as an efficiency. So it's like you can capture, if you find opportunities like that, then obviously if the numbers make sense, then you can capitalize so much more beyond what traditionally you could do, which is just you know fix and flip that one property there. But the fact that you can add more to that piece of land, just makes it that much more valuable depending on what the ultimate goal is for that particular investor. But seeing a lot of capital going to Miami, and they're doing a lot of development in Miami, especially in the Brickell area. And plus, there's no state income tax in Florida as well, so that's becoming a lot more attractive to wealthy people because obviously if you're in a state like California, you're gonna get taxed for being in California. You know what I'm saying? So and that tax is pretty high. So so that's what that would be my response to that.
Hey man, that's awesome. Thank you for giving that game. You know what I'm saying? So for those that want to invest, you know what to invest in right now because the market is what he just gave. All right.
Right.
So let's talk about a little bit more about discipline and mindset. What role does faith or spirituality play in your life? I'm sorry.
Say it again.
What role does faith or spirituality play in your life?
Well, listen, man, I walk in faith every day. That's the reason why I'm in California, right? It was walking in faith. The faith walk has to be in the forefront of everything you do. You can't be in fear of, something that may not even take place, right? Because you'll be doing God a disservice, when it comes to the journey He has for you. You know what I mean? And you may not know what it is, but you're still alive to talk about it. So keep walking in faith. And just stick to your guns, bro.
Hey, how do you stay focused in a world full of distractions?
Discipline, man. Discipline. Avoid distractions. And if it's, turning all the notifications off on your phone, setting your setting your settings to a certain, like for you won't consume certain type of content that'll distract you from whatever it is you want to do. Set an alarm, you know what I'm saying, so for yourself and like a schedule to where you can focus on that and really stick to it and just be disciplined. You know what I mean? So that's what I do. So I would give you that advice as well.
Yeah, I agree with you as well because when you stretch yourself out, first of all, you get burnout, which leads to my next question. Have you ever experienced burnout?
Yeah, all the time, bro.
What did you do to de-stress?
Again, going back to the workout and meditation. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day when I smoke a blunt here and there. You know what I mean? But nowadays it's just either relaxing or stepping away and just kind of sitting with myself and just meditating or just chilling. You know what I'm saying? And really getting my time back in that regard. So.
Oh man, that's focus. That's fire. My bad.
Yeah, no problem.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
That's a good question. Okay, to my younger self, everything's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Don't overthink it, and stay on this path. You know what I'm saying? Because it's already in you. So just keep going.
Hey,
that's really it.
Yeah, man, that's definitely dope. So, what motivates you to keep pushing after achieving so much? Oh, that's John Logic. He says peace. That's he commented.
You already know. Nah, that yeah, to keep going. I mean, you said what motivates me to keep going? That was the question.
Yeah, after you achieve so much already, like what's your motivation?
I mean, the motivation is to kind of continue to build this legacy. You know what I'm saying? Build an empire. Like me is continuing to build, you know what I'm saying, and building a solid foundation for me and the family I want to build thereafter me and the legacy I want to leave behind when I go. So, you know, that this for me, it's like I'm thinking, you know, generations ahead, not necessarily, you know, for myself in that regard. You feel me? So, yeah, that's really where I'm at with it.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. You know, leaving something for the family and caring about legacy is the ultimate goal of why we all do what we do. You know, so caring about family is always dope. So I commend you for putting family first. You know what I'm saying?
You already
If you
know,
ain't
my
caring about
brother.
family, what you doing?
I'm saying you gotta have your why, right? You know, knowing your why is key, and that's what, you know, wakes me up every morning, and you know, gives me the to go get it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you ain't living for nothing, you falling for everything. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna leave you with that, my good brother, because you know I gave you a little bit more time. You know what I
Of
mean? But
course, of course.
I gotta jump. You know what I'm saying? Go handle some business. But thank you for having me today, man. I really appreciate you.
Hey man, anything you want to say before you get off? You want to shout out anybody? You want to throw your handles out there? Solo Dolo
Man,
can for you.
listen, I just want to say, you know, everybody who got a dream out there, you know what I'm saying, who's like in the pursuit of greatness and happiness, you know what I'm saying, really identify what that looks like for you and why is that important to you, right? And really just look within yourself and really just identify, you know, what true happiness and greatness is before going in pursuit of it, because the last thing you want to do is find yourself lost in the pursuit, you know, and sometimes it's okay to be lost, you know what I'm saying, but just, you know, pray for that guidance and that wisdom, you know, to take you in the right direction. But, you know, just don't find yourself, you know, chasing the material things, because then you'll find yourself everywhere, you know, so really, really focus on your why and identify why is that important to you and really just break it down. And if that source of happiness and greatness, then you're on the right path already.
Hey man, I want to thank you for coming on. Explosion one time for Jonni Vegaz.
You already know.
Hey man, go check them out everywhere. Social media. Shout your socials real quick.
Yes. So, you know, Jonni Vegaz, Jonni period Vegas with a Z. You know, if you look at my business page, it's Shayanne Andujar. The spelling is right there, SHAYANNE period ANDUJAR. You know, and yeah, man, just look, just be on the lookout, man. I got a lot of projects coming up. I'm involved in a lot. So yeah, man, I'm excited for you guys to support.
Hey man, hopefully we get to do some things together as well. You know, when it in the time I said, hopefully we get to do something. You know, soon. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you know, people be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, in between time, thanks for coming, bro. Thank you for your energy. And listen, man, be safe out there and keep doing what you're doing, man. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you as well, man. You have a good night, man. Good night to your audience as well.
All right, man. Be safe out there.
You too, bro. Peace.
All right. Folks, it's a short rendition of the pot today. Y'all got some gems. Y'all had my guest. He was here. He did what he do. And listen, I enjoyed it. This not going to be the only time y'all see Jonni Vegaz on the show. So I can't say too much, but be prepared. Anyway, once again, it's your boy Tigmatic signing off. I hope y'all enjoyed y'all Wednesday hump day. I hope you got over it feeling good with me, with some motivation and some inspiration and a little bit of obstacles as well. But as always, this episode was brought to you by Collywood TV, Collywood Radio, Dollar Radio, Going In Radio, TheMoneyBrand.com, and NorShadeDemoreBoutique.com. It's your boy Tigmatic signing off. Peace.
Tune in to the Pop Podcast with Tigmatic.
What's up, y'all? Tune into the Pop Podcast with Tigmatic.
Radio for the Pop Podcast with your boy Tigmatic.
The Pop Podcast, stirring the pot.
So tune in to the Pop Podcast with Tigmatic on Caliwood TV.
Tune in to the Pop Podcast, my boy Tigmatic.
And going on radio. You might get some good music and some knowledge.